Hey guys, what's going on? It's Coach Medina. Good to see you. Back at home, giving you guys a nice little review real quick. So there's a couple things that I need you guys to do. This is a senior video, so if you're a senior, you need to be watching this. If you're a freshman or sophomore, go on to your specific videos. So we wrote about and talked about Hamlet Act 1, Scene 1. You guys answered questions for Hamlet Act 1, Scene 2. Now I want to go over with you guys the plot points or the important stuff out of Act 1, Scene 2 for Hamlet. Tomorrow I'm going to need you guys to check back on your Google Classroom. In the morning at 9 in the morning, I am going to post Act 1, Scene 3 for you guys to read. And the questions for you guys to do for that night to submit, and then you're going to enjoy your spring break. So thank you for tuning in and watching this. Just want to go over Act 1, Scene 2 with you guys, just in case there's anybody who has a little bit of an issue. By the end of this video, you guys are going to have a challenge question that I'm going to ask you guys that you're going to have to comment on the YouTube video. Just so that I know that you guys watch through, and just so that I know that I can give you guys participation points for watching this video. Alright, so let's get into it. So Hamlet Act 1, Scene 2. So this is after they saw the ghost. This is after Horatio was proven that this ghost is real. This is after the ghost kind of like didn't say anything. But now Horatio is in a funk. He realizes that the ghost was the ghost of King Hamlet, who ended up dying. And Horatio, the scholar, wants to tell the son, Prince Hamlet, that he just saw his dad. Because Hamlet is still grieving over it, and it's really sad. So, Hamlet Act 1, Scene 2, it starts off with the newly crowned king named Claudius. Now, Claudius was recently appointed the king, and is actually the uncle of Hamlet. So, Hamlet's uncle, Claudius, after Hamlet's father, Hamlet, died, Claudius took the throne and became the king. So, Claudius is an uncle to Hamlet, but also, not that that's, like, bad enough, I think, but also, Claudius married Hamlet's mom as well. So not only is he the king, but he's also Hamlet's uncle, who is now also Hamlet's stepdad. It's really weird, and there's some really, like, a lot of odd family ties to unpack there, but for the most part, we can see that Hamlet is probably not all that happy. Plus, he's a teenager. And I know, for the most part, a lot of angsty teens. I know I was an angsty teen. I'm pretty much an angsty adult as well. So Hamlet is not really now feeling that, right? So since he married Hamlet's mom, Hamlet's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, it's crazy. He's in a really weird situation, and he definitely is not, going at it with the best reactions, I want to say. So Claudius, one of his first things as king was he wanted to send a message, or he wanted to send messengers on a mission to go and talk with the king of Norway, because they want to stop the war between Norway and the kingdom that Claudius currently is in. So they wanted to relax the fighting. We also get introduced to another very important character named Polonius. Now, Polonius is like an advisor. He's like the right-hand man of Claudius. He is somebody who's really respected, and somebody that a lot of people, they recognize his rank. So Polonius, the important advisor to the king, has two kids, okay? These two kids, their names are Laertes, who is a student. Laertes is a student who, is studying abroad right now. He is, a pretty smart guy. They're of the higher class. They're like the sons and daughters of politicians. So Laertes is a pretty important guy out at university, right? So Polonius's dad, is about to send him back to the university. The only reason he's in town is because Claudius was crowned king, and he wanted to be there for that for his dad. Then there's also another child from Polonius named Ophelia. Now, Ophelia is kind of like has a little thing with Hamlet, kind of. Hamlet likes her a lot. She kind of is feeling him a little bit, but he is kind of like what you would call kind of, or she is like a love interest to Hamlet, right? Now, Hamlet gets into a conversation with Claudius as well, and this is kind of like a snarky conversation. Hamlet's kind of like throwing jabs at Claudius quite a bit. Hamlet even says, he's got some really good zingers in here. Like, Shakespeare's really good at like making clever kind of like jabs at stuff, and we do have that here. So I'm going to read some of these, like, I want to read one of these interactions between Hamlet and Gertrude. So Gertrude is really, Hamlet is there, and he's, like, still grieving over his dad. I mean, this is, like, a week after his dad died. His mother went and got married already to his uncle, which is kind of weird. And Hamlet really points that out. And he's even wearing black all the time because, like, the mourning clothes. So Gertrude says, "My dear Hamlet, stop wearing these black clothes and be friendly to the king. You can't spend your whole life with your eyes to the ground remembering your noble father. It happens all the time. What lives must die eventually, passing to eternity." Hamlet says, "Yes, mother, it happens all the time." "So why does it seem this particular to you?" Hamlet says, "Seem, mother? No, it is. I don't know what you mean by seem. Neither my black clothes, nor my dear mother, nor my heavy sighs, nor my weeping, nor my downcast eyes, nor any other display of grief can show how I really feel. It's true that all these things seem like grief, since a person could use them to fake grief if they wanted to, but I've more real grief inside me than you could ever see on the surface. These clothes are just a hint of it." So he's really snarky to his mom, right? He even says to his dad, he's like, his dad basically is like, "Come on, man." He's like, "Please give up this useless mourning of yours and start thinking of me as your new father." Right? Can you imagine a stepdad saying that I'm your new dad? That probably to a teenager, that's not the best thing to say. Hamlet says that he's going to obey his mother and he's going to do whatever he can to make his mother happy. But Hamlet, at the end of it, is really not happy. And he explains that he is not happy that his uncle is now his stepdad. He's not happy that his uncle is now the king. He's not happy that his mother got over his dad dying so quickly. And Claudius wants to have Hamlet be a man. He tells him, like, man up and just get over this, right? And it'll be okay. And you don't want to really tell somebody who's mourning that. And obviously Hamlet gets really pissed. So the last thing that I want to tell you guys, or I want to read to you guys, is the soliloquy, okay? So before I jump into the soliloquy, I want to tell you guys your challenge question. So you have two things that you have to do. Number one, you have to comment on this post, or on this Google Classroom. Sorry. You have to comment on this YouTube video. Comment only on the YouTube video that you have watched you have watched this video. And number two, you need to tell me what color socks you are wearing. So number one, you need to tell me that you watched the video. Number two, you need to tell me what color socks you are wearing. Okay? Now I'm going to read the soliloquy, and then I'm going to leave you guys alone. So Hamlet says, I wish my dirty flesh could melt away into a vapor. Oh, that God had not sorry, my daughter is screaming at me right now. Hamlet says, I wish my dirty flesh could melt away into a vapor, or that God had not made a law against suicide. So he's already thinking about suicide. Oh God, how tired, stale, and pointless life is to me. Damn it! It's like a garden that no one is taking care of, and that's growing wild. Only nasty weeds grow in it now. I can't believe it. It has come to this. My father's only dead for 2 months. No, not even 2. Such an excellent king, and as superior to my uncle as God is to a beast, and so loving towards my mother, and he kept the wind from blowing too hard on her face. Oh God, do I have to remember that? She would hang on to him, and the more she was with him, the more she wanted to be with him. She couldn't get enough of him. Yet even so, within a month of my father's death, I don't even want to think about. Oh, woman, you are so weak. Even before she had broken in the shoes she wore to his funeral, crying like crazy, even an animal would have mourned its mate longer than she did. There she was, marrying my uncle, my father's brother, who's about as much like a father as I am to like Hercules. Less than a month after my father's death, even before the tears on her cheeks had dried, she remarried. Oh, so quick to jump into bed of incest. That's not good, and no good can come of it either. But my heart must break in silence, since I can't mention my feelings aloud. And that's the end of the scene. So, again, I just wanted to review this with you guys. Remember to check back on your Google Classroom tomorrow at 9 a.m. You are going to have Act 1, Scene 3. That is going to be due at midnight that night. If you've watched and stuck through this entire video, you have two things that you have to do. You have to comment on this YouTube video that you have watched it entirely. And number two, you need to tell me what color socks you are wearing. Okay? After that, I'm going to be taking those as like a grade and just put it in the grade book as participation. Make sure that you check back and watch and look at Act 1, Scene 3 tomorrow at 9 a.m. on your Google Classroom. I am going to post another video probably on Thursday. Just kind of recapping it. Maybe Friday I'll post that video just to recap the work that you did, and then you're done. All right? So have a great rest of your day. Stay out of trouble. Let me know if you have any questions. Make sure also, before I let you guys go, before I click this end button, you need to make sure that you are doing your own work. Do not copy and paste. Do not ask somebody for answers. I would rather you have your wrong answers from Hamlet, from your reading, than giving me answers from the internet, or some answers that somebody looked up for you, or some answers that somebody sent to you. Okay? Do your best. Do your own work. That's the name of the game. Then you're going to pass, and you're going to go to college, and you're going to have a great time. All right? So let's make sure that we do our best here. Let's make sure that we're staying on task. I'm out. Have a great night. Peace.